Okay, good morning. Welcome to
Family Math number 84.
Family Math number 84. We are back from our vacation. And where was our vacation?
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. And we found a really interesting math problem when we were there. When we were looking, we were staying here. Remember what town we were staying in?
Truro.
Truro. And we were looking across the bay to what town was over here?
P-Town.
P-Town, or
Provincetown.
otherwise known as Provincetown. And when we looked, we were wondering if you could paddle a canoe or a kayak all the way across from Truro to Provincetown, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't know how far it was, and it's hard to measure distance just by looking over the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So here, what we did is when we drove it around the corner, around like that, it was 8 miles. And what sort of shape does that look like?
A half circle.
It does look like a D, you're right.
Looks like a half circle.
Looks like a half circle. And maybe we can figure out how far it is across a half circle.
Well, I
and
know
estimate.
the circumference. The circumference would be 16.
Okay, so if it was a full circle, the circumference would be 16. Do you know why that is?
No.
Okay, well, if half a circle is 8 miles around,
And it would be 16 all the way.
it'd be 16 all the way around. Okay, so we have a circle, and it's 16 all the way around, and we're trying to find the distance all the way across the circle from one side to the other. And what is this called, that line segment that cuts a circle exactly in half? Do you know?
No.
No?
It's called the diameter.
It's called the diameter.
So,
Hold on a second. Have you ever heard that word before, diameter? Yeah. Diameter? So we're trying to find the diameter of a circle whose circumference is 16. What are we going to have to know to do that?
well, we need to know the formula for a circumference. The
Okay.
formula for a circumference
Circumference, I'll call it circ,
it's 2 pi r.
2 pi times the radius of the circle, or we could just say, what is 2r? The radius is halfway across.
Or pi times the diameter.
Pi times the diameter.
Cool.
Cool, that's a formula. 2 pi times the radius is the circumference, or that's the same thing as pi times the diameter. And we're trying to figure out the diameter. Now, do you know what pi is, by the way?
3.141
Okay, so pi is a number that's about I'll just say 3.14, okay?
Yeah.
Because we're estimating. And this is actually the definition of pi. The definition of pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter, or another way of defining pi is saying the circumference is pi times the diameter.
Yeah.
Okay? So if pi is about 3.14, we know that 16, the circumference, is approximately equal to 3.14 times the diameter. So how do I find what the diameter is?
Well, we need to divide by pi.
Okay, so the diameter is approximately 16 divided by 3.14. And let's just plug that into our handy dandy calculator. 16, whoops.
Not 0.16.
Not 0.16 was clear. 16 divided by 3.14. That's about we'll call it 5.1 miles. So the diameter, this is about 5.1 miles. Now, do you think you could paddle a kayak 5.1 miles?
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, across the ocean?
Maybe.
Do you think you want to try that?
Someday maybe.
So maybe someday.
If
But
I
it's
move
a long way. That's a lot longer than it seemed, right? It looked like you could almost just reach across the Provincetown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's about 5 miles. And it looks like on a map that it's more like 4.5 miles from where we were, but this is pretty close. I measured it out on a map and got 4.5.
Cool.
That's fun. That's one way you could use math where you thought it was really close, but it turned out paddling a kayak 5 miles, think that'd be easy or hard?
Hard.
Probably hard.
Unless you had a motorboat.
Unless you had a motorboat, but then it wouldn't be
No, kayak.
it wouldn't be a kayak.
Unless the kayak was being pulled by the motorboat.
Unless the kayak was being pulled by the motorboat. Or maybe the kayak got pulled into a sharknado and went flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job with Cape Cod math.